And welcome to this week's edition, which is the first week, the inaugural kickoff of our long-standing but just starting Stardom Bedlam podcast. I will be your host. My name is Brendan Shelley. I know everything I said in the beginning didn't make sense. Most of this won't, but I hope you hang out with us and have a good time. I have my co-host here, Mr. Dan Ambrose. Dan, you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi. We're off to a rough start, so this train wreck is well on its way.
It is. And I figured we've done a couple takes where we just talked about these guys. We never really did the intro. I didn't realize how hard it was to talk empty to yourself.
Yes, it's like only if somebody would have told us to practice that.
Yeah, I wonder. Like my friend that has his own podcast that you can check out. It is called The Better Blueprint. So, Dan, you can always find Dan on The Better Blueprint if you're looking for some good odds and scooping up some good picks in regards to season totals and NFL, college, you got it. Well, this one specifically we're pretty much going to be diving into the world of gambling, specifically prop bets. We will also go for season totals. We'll also target pretty much any, we call them value bets. All right. So our goal is to go through, put down what makes sense to us. It might not make sense to you. And in the end, you might be right. But we're going to tell you what we think works. We're going to tell you where we've made money in the past. And we're going to have a good time doing it. And today's episode is around that premise. We're going to talk a little bit about fantasy football. These are regular season rankings, in my own opinion, with my projections. That absolutely means nothing. I have no NFL experience. I've never coached in the NFL. My experience is just, making football part of my life. So
yeah, it's probably the same as everybody else, right? Everyone's played pretty much once or twice and think they can coach a team, so we're good.
I figured as much too. I should blend right in with the other guys out there.
Yeah, and also reiterating the fact that these are your projections. I am not a fantasy guru person, or I don't even play anymore. But I do like the gambling aspect of it, so I will try to shed some light on that while Brendan leads you to the promised land on the fantasy side.
That is the goal. I have a good time. I tend to do pretty well in fantasy football. People that are listening to this, I may or may not have beaten you in a league or two. So hopefully you can attest to that or say that I sucked. Please put your comments in there. We're happy to get some listeners. And eventually we'll get some sponsors. That'd be nice, right, Dan? Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Let's get some money out of this. I know my wife would really appreciate that. So let's get underway. These are my top ranked quarterbacks for PPR fantasy football. This is redraft style. I'm a dynasty guy, so I will have eventually do a dynasty, buys and sells and all that fun stuff. But today we did my redraft top 12 with also a little added boost of, we're going to discuss prop bets for season totals on these guys. We're going to go over where we would hammer it. And before we do that, I'm going to pause for our sponsor. This could be you, right? So let's get underway. Dan, I'm going to mark this spot up too, so we can, when the sponsors reach out to us, they can go ahead and insert their ad right there. All right, we are back from our sponsored break. I know people are lining up the door. Thank you for our sponsor in there. We had to really squeeze you in. So what I'm going to do, once again, we're going to go through our top redraft quarterbacks with a little action going on here. We're going to talk about what they were predicted to do per my predictions. I would love to say Dan was involved. He wants no parts of this. It will, however, give his insight on either how insane my picks are or how he agrees with me. We get a few of those, right?
Yeah, a couple.
All right, good. I'll take it as a victory. All right, Dan, who's leading off for us? So tell us a little bit about my number one
guy. Your number one guy is Josh Allen this year. Somehow won the MVP last year over Lamar. I'm still on the fence of whether it should have been between Lamar and Burrow, but I guess Josh Allen wins. Last year, he threw for 3,731 yards. 28 touchdowns, 531 yards rushing, and 12 rushing touchdowns. I'll let you share your projections.
Yeah, I'd love to get into them. I think he's going to have a better season. I got him at 4,400 is my projection for passing totals. How did I come up with that? I just literally went pen and paper, the old style one. The games used Pro Football Focus for defensive rankings, used who's coming in, et cetera. And I can't do that for every game, obviously, so I'll give little tidbits. But I think Josh Allen will be the beneficiary of I like Elijah Moore. Call me crazy, but giving him another receiving option that can stretch the field and can catch balls underneath. We thought he could do that coming out of college. He hasn't had the best of careers, but I'm hoping he's like the next Jerry Jeudy, where suddenly he gets in an offense that works for him and he looks good. So Josh Allen's going to have a strong year. He's going to be my number one rated quarterback based off fantasy points in a redraft league. So I got him at 4,400 yards. I have him at 33 touchdowns in the air. I have him at 666 yards in the ground. And then I got him at 9 touchdowns on the ground. And really what I'm talking about when I say us versus the books, Dan, tell us what DraftKings and Bet365.
Yeah, so they do not agree with your 4,400 yards in projection. I'm not saying that they have to, because that's not the business they're in. They're just trying to create some money on both sides, right? So they have them 600 yards, or have him 600 yards less than what you projected, and 3,800. You can probably find it at 3,750 as well for the year there. Touchdown wise, again, they got you 6 touchdowns less. They're at 27 and a half. Rushing yards, 475 and a half. So you were at 666 on there.
Yep.
And rushing touchdowns, you guys are close. You had 9 and they have 10 and a half.
Yeah. And once again, I like these. I think obviously he's going to be over on almost every category. Am I going to take that action? I'm probably not, believe it or not. He's not one of my stronger picks. I think with quarterbacks like Allen, he plays violent. They've tried to reduce his touches and have done a decent job. James Cooks have really stepped it up out there, but I don't know. I don't like to put long-term money, because that's what this is. You're investing this until they hit this actual number. Once the day he throws over 3,801 yards, that's when you get paid out. That
Well,
could be
some
week.
places will
Some
pay
places
till
hold it
week
all the way
18.
to the end of the season. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're 100% right. So if you're in a good position where you can do that, go ahead, hammer Allen. I'm not. I'm going to sit that one. I'm going to go for some more, I would say, surefire. Dan disagrees on some of these, but it's definitely something that I want to have fun with. Who's our next guy here, Mr. Ambrose? Number 2.
You have Lamar Jackson at number 2. So last year, played all 17 games, threw for 4,172 yards, 41 touchdowns, 915 yards rushing, and 4 rushing touchdowns. And I add, that is more passing yards, more passing touchdowns, more rushing yards than Josh Allen. The only thing Josh Allen did better than him at is rushing TDs.
And that's a whole debate. We got into this a little bit. I think as good as Henry played last season, he took away from Lamar's greatest season he's ever had. It's a shame. And unfortunately, Lamar didn't win MVP. He deserved it. I really, really feel that way. I think a case could be made for Burrow, but Lamar, man, insane numbers. What do I think he's going to do? Where do I got him at here? I got him at 3,900 yards in the air. So a little bit less than what he did last year, but a little bit more than DraftKings and Bet365. I got him at 28 touchdowns. I'm predicting him at 1,100 yards on the ground. He's going to run ham, go crazy. King Henry, he's getting old, man. So I got him dinged up, maybe missing 2 or 3 games. I know you don't like to do that, but that is what it is. Then I'm giving him 7 touchdowns on the ground for Lamar. Dan, how did he do versus the books?
So passing yards wise, you were 400 off. So you can get him at 3,500, over 3,500 yards. Passing touchdowns, you guys were right on. You had 28. The books are showing 28 and a half. Rushing yards, you got a little happy with.
I did.
The books are at 750 yards. You got at 1,100. So that you should be able to pay your house off by week 7, it looks like. And then as far as rushing touchdowns, you had 7. They got 4.5.
Yeah, and where I see the value with Lamar is that rushing ability. That's why I have him as my number 2 ranked quarterback in fantasy. I have him throwing less touchdowns. I have him passing less touchdowns, but I got him at 1,100 on the ground. I mean, I love that value. You're 450 yards more than what they're projecting him to do. I'm taking that action. That's not going to be one of my favorite bets today, but I'm definitely, if I were going to pick one so far, it's going to be Lamar Jackson rushing yards.
I mean, I don't think it's too crazy, right? I mean, you're 64. You need about 65 yards a game to get to 1,100.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So,
and he's bound to go off at least 2 games. I mean, to make up for those games where he only gets 40 on the ground. He's just a dangerous, dangerous player. And there's a couple things they got going on there. They re-signed Rashad Bateman. I don't know how I feel about that, but they love him there. He fits their system. Harbaugh takes care of his guys, and it looks like Bateman's benefited from that. Obviously, Isaiah Likely's going to step up. They kept Mark Andrews as security blanket, but Lamar's going to go crazy again. So Number 2 ranked quarterback. Let's get into number 3. I'm a little partial to this guy. So, Mr. Ambrose, why don't you tell us about this
Your
gentleman who
homer,
had a
your homer
quite
pick
a year,
is
quite a year.
Jalen Hurts. I guess 2,903 yards is good passing yards. You got him 3,800 this year. Oops.
Damn right.
Yeah. So also last year he threw for 18 touchdowns, 630 yards rushing, and 14 rushing touchdowns.
Yep. And what happened, Dan? Is there something that was voted on this past offseason? I can't remember. Could you refresh me?
Oh, are you talking
A
about
special
the
play?
tush push?
That I am, sir. I am talking
Okay.
about the tush push. So 14 touchdowns, going to be repeated. That is my bet. DraftKings Bet 365, they disagree with me. They got him at get 12.5 on the ground. So they're thinking around 13 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns, right around there. I went 14. Not enough value in that, but like Dan mentioned, I did 3,800 yards for the air. DraftKings Bet 365 has him at 3,200. So a little aggressive in this approach, but I think the offense only gets stronger. We had a whole other season. We got some changes on the offensive line, but I have faith in everything there. I have faith in my Eagles. I have faith in the offensive line. I have faith in the offensive line coach. I mean, it's just you just continually put anybody there, random rugby players, and now we're all pros. I mean, it is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
for context, I also heard last basketball season that the 76ers were going to win the finals. So trust the process here too, I guess. That's all I'm saying.
I did put a little faith in my Sixers. I was not happy with Paul George. I want to really point that out. You can attest to that. That was not something I wanted.
We can talk about that on the NBA show.
You're right. That's correct. I'll get away. I'll get away from my Eagles and Phillies and Sixers and Flyers. Knights are a special place in my heart. But DraftKings, this is my value pick and my strongest bet so far. Jalen Hurts, DraftKings, Bet 365, Super Bowl MVP, superstar, playoffs. They don't give a shit. They got him at 19 and a half. So basically, he needs to throw 20 touchdowns to beat their bets in the air. I got him at 27. Is that more than 20, Dan? Can you remind everybody?
That is.
That it is. That is my strongest pick so far. It is slightly homered. And the reason why it's slightly homered, it is just I love my Eagles, and I'm extremely biased, and I love the system. And Jalen Hurts understands this system. He understands what he's doing. He's essentially the offensive coordinator now. He gets a new one every year. He knows what he's doing. So I have over 20 touchdowns. I have him at 27. This is my lock pick so far. So lock pick, I'm going to do some cool little noise sound effect, beer, 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 something like that. So that's the lock pick. So we'll get to that when I do the editing. What a shit show that will be. So Dan, you should have a blast with that. So that is my pick of the day so far at the number 3 ranked quarterback, who is Jalen Hurts. Just to recap, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts per redraft fantasy football 2025. Who's our number 4 guy here, Mr. Ambrose?
So number 4, you have the sophomore Jayden Daniels. Last year, rookie year, 3,568 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 891 yards rushing, and 6 rushing TDs.
PIMP was once said by one great composer. And Jayden Daniels has very much been that. He came in, did not mess around. He showed people what he does. Unfortunately, all the rankings that they have, there's no value that I see here. So Dan, why don't you go through what the books have him at? We'll go through what I put him at.
Okay, so the books have him at 3,300 and a half passing yards for the year. Do you want me to go over your projections?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically. I got him at 3,600. I don't see the value in that. There's only a 300 disparity. And to me, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Once again, these are long-term investments. You got to make this wager and watch it throughout the whole season.
You have, you're pretty close with the touchdown passes. You got 26. They're at 23 and a half. Every quarterback in the league is running according to you next year. So you have him at 920 yards projected. The sports books have him at 700. You can find it at 700 and a half to 725. So there's shop around, see what you like number wise, what you think it's going to be.
Yeah. I don't like it. I just don't. The only reason I have him doing that is, once again, Brian Robinson, who made getting the gunshot victim thing cool before Ricky Pearsall. That poor guy. I mean, he doesn't get the love he deserves. He works his ass off down there. He does very well with every season, and he doesn't get the love he deserves. Well, I'm not giving him the love this season. I'm giving it more to Jayden Daniels, who's going to really just continue to run the ball and do well.
I mean, it's not too far
The
from off from last year either, right? You was at
No, it's really
891
not.
last year, so you went up, and they went down. So
Right. And the only thing that happened was Austin Eckler got older. Brian Robinson hopefully he doesn't get injured. I'm always rooting for the guy. He's a cool story, but I mean, he's had some injuries in the past.
well, they got to feed
There's
Debo though as well. So
yeah. Well, they need Terry McLaurin to show up. That's the first step. They need Terry McLaurin to show up. So
right. So rushing TD wise, you got 9. They're at 6.5.
yeah, I marked up 9. Basically, I would like to bet the 6.5 over, and this is my first value pick of the day, and that's only because 6.5 is at plus money. They got them at plus 125, so you can make a little bit more return on this one. And I got him at 9 on the ground. I don't see that as unreasonable. Like I said, he has the run game there. It's not something to blow your socks off of, and between the play actions and rollouts, he's going to get some yards in the red zone and hopefully punch some in. I figured 9. I think 7's very achievable, so I like that bet. I don't know about you. Do you like that one?
No, I'm not big on any of the rushing ones. I can maybe get on board with your passing projections and what you're seeing there, but I am a firm believer that the NFL adapts quickly. They got 1 year of film, and if they can stop the run and make him throw more, I think that'll be the objective this year for them.
Yeah, and that's why I also factored that in too. And I think
Looks like it.
Yeah, I really think Zach Ertz is going to have a huge season. He's been his security blanket, and like you said, they're going to play tighter defenses, and he's going to have to check down more to the running backs and look middle field for Ertz, who's going to be a security blanket. Speaking of prolific passers, Dan, how about this next guy?
I'm going to let you handle this one.
I think that's a bold move because you're really on board with me on this one, aren't you? Yeah.
So much so I don't want to talk about it.
All right, number 5, I have Justin Fields, the number 5 ranked fantasy quarterback in redraft this year. Okay. I'm not saying this is the guy that's going to be Hall of Fame, blah, blah, blah. Every time he gets an opportunity, he is a top 10 quarterback throughout his career. Every time. He doesn't get many. Let's go over some of his stats. Let's just start with how many games he's played. In the year 2024, he played 10. All right. And that's just, 4 where he kind of got in. Let's face it, he only started 6. 2023, he had 13. Same crap. 2022, he had 15. How did he do in those seasons? Let's say last season he threw for 1,100 yards. We'll go with 2022 as a good sample because he played actual 15 games. He threw for 22,242 yards. Not great. I have him doing monster season this year. And well, before we get into that, let's go over some of what the sports books think. And they feel very strongly that he's going to continue to do his 2,500 yards and call it a day. So their picks are 2,550 yards in the air. The other one's 2,575 yards. I went with 3,850. He's going to have a prolific season.
That's 3,850, right?
Correct. That is exactly what I'm thinking.
Okay.
And my thought process behind this whole endeavor, I've done a lot of research. I want to read some of that to you. Just know that I feel extremely, extremely confident in this pick. Their offensive coordinator is a man that Aaron Glenn took with him. He loves to throw the ball. He was the Jared Goff whisperer for quite some time. He always utilized the tight ends, which I think Mason Taylor is going to be huge for them. I think that I'm telling you, this guy, Justin Fields, when he gets the opportunity, he actually gets blocks. He can be pretty good. And last season, if you look at his statistics, I dove in a little bit deeper. He actually was pretty darn accurate too in actual close balls and non-contested balls and all this stuff. He used to throw the ball all over the place. Seems like he kind of settled in a little bit more last year. Didn't hold the spot, obviously lost to Russell Wilson, but I just really, all these bets I love with him. So this is going to be a crazy category. Yeah.
Ben Johnson is the coordinator with the Jets now, because you were talking about
I see what you did there.
And all that stuff.
Yes. No. Ben Johnson is lined up with our number 7 guy, so we can talk about that shortly. But I just want you to know that
wasn't the guy you were talking about. That followed the coach.
Correct.
Okay.
I really think it just all the quotes, everything I'm reading off this whole offseason, the running, the passing. I'm telling you, when he has that quick release, that quick throw, he does a quick play action, and Breece Hall's going to scare the shit out of some defenses. If not Breece, Braylon Allen, who's also pretty good back there. He's going to get boom, and he looks up. He's got Garrett Wilson wide open, all right? Or if Garrett Wilson can't separate, he's going to have my man Mason Taylor. And you always have the ageless Alan Lazard. He is like a lizard. He just keeps coming back. You cut up the tail. There he is again. So he's going to have his options. Another guy that might step up this season, call me crazy, Malachi Corley. He was Aaron Rodgers' pick, as everything I read last year, but I feel like they can implement him in this offense too. There's going to be a lot of fun. I really look forward to seeing how the Jets do. I don't like the Jets, but I like cheering for players that I love watching, and Brees Hall was one of them. And now Justin Fields is going to be fun to watch there. So everything
I mean,
that
the
I
Jets
bet,
just in general. I mean, when are they not fun to watch?
yeah, they're abysmal. They're so bad. So like I said, 38.50, I'm hammering the hell out of this. So here, let's just go through these bets. 2,550 yards, smash over. All right, smash over. All right, his passing touchdowns. Last year, he threw a prolific 5 touchdowns. All right. What do I have him at? First, let's see what the DraftKings is doing. DraftKings and Bet365 have him at 14 around, 14, 15 at even money, which means 1-to-1, Dan. You bet $5, you win $5. For me, I'm slamming that. I got him at 24 touchdowns in the air. I don't think that's crazy. This other category, books don't even want my action. It's crazy. We could not find a wager. If you can find an actual wager for this or a bet we can place, we will place it. We can't find any betting for his ground game, but I think he's going to go off there. I think he's going to have 850 yards on the ground. I also think he's going to score 9 touchdowns on the ground.
So in all seriousness, though, I think that the reason why you're not finding any rushing anything,
they think he's going to be
and
benched.
with his offensive statistics, they don't think that he's going to excel over his averages that he's shown before. He's yet to play a full season, and I don't think they believe that he's going to make the whole season. Like, he's going to be benched.
He will. He will. This is going to be exciting. He will play it through. They got him 2 years, not a lot of funny money. So 1 year at least, he's bound to start. And if he stays healthy, and I think he's behind a better offensive line than he's ever had, I really feel like he can just do little stupid stuff, little dink and dunks, get Garrett Wilson down the field, his old buddy. He's going to rush the hell out of the ball. He's going to be fun to watch, and he's going to get you a lot of fantasy points. So he's my number 5 ranked quarterback. I'm going to be pursuing him in most of my leagues. If you're in the leagues,
I'm sure you'll
miss
be.
that part.
No, I'm sure you'll be fine.
So I'm telling you now, just sit on him. If you see him sitting in a draft, apparently you can wait. I don't know his ADP right now, but I'm sure it's not.
So
he's probably, yep. Go ahead.
Talking on the fantasy side, what round are we talking here?
Let's see what they got him at. Justin Fields ADP.
I mean, if he's number 10 or 11, right? That would be.
No, he's definitely not that. They got him right now. PPR, he's 97. So what does that 97 come out to?
What do they go with 12 teams or what? I don't know what.
12 teams, always. Anybody does 10 league,
round
10
8?
Team, good for you. Yeah, round 8, that's pretty good value. I could reach all the way up to the 6th round to get him. I feel very confident in that. I would go all the way to the 6th round to get him. Yep. Okay. If you're going 7th, that's value. 8th is a steal, in my opinion. Obviously, you go with what the draft says. You feel your league, you go off that. But I will be targeting Justin Fields. I'll try to be trading for Justin Fields. Right now, you forget him for very little in dynasty leagues. You can probably get him for a first-round pick, late first-round pick.
You should give away at least 2 years of first-round picks for him.
Stop.
Because you're going to have him for 2 years.
Yeah, point. But Justin Fields smashing that over 2,500 yards. It should be easy. Really should be. I got him over 3,000. I feel confident with 24 touchdowns in the air. I love that pick. You're actually getting some even money on that. 14. All you got to bet is he throws 15 touchdowns, and whatever you bet, you get that back. So let's hear about your number 6 guy. My number 6 guy, but number 1 in your heart, apparently.
Yeah, so possibly league MVP, more than likely Super Bowl MVP this year, Joe Burrow. Last year, threw for 4,918 yards. I believe that was highest in the league. 43 touchdown passes, 201 yards rushing, and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Wheels.
Yes, definitely no rushing props this year on Joe Burrow.
Don't even take Chase Brown. He's just stealing all of his yards over there.
So looking at what sportsbooks have in your projections, so you have him doing about the same as he did last year. You had him at 4,800. Sportsbooks see a reduction there. They're thinking 4,150 and a half. I don't mind the over on that. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't go over, assuming he's playing every game. I mean, in 2022, he played 16 games and threw for 4,400 yards. So, I mean,
right.
Yeah. So
and that was, That was before Gesicki. Now they re-signed Gesicki. They give T. Higgins a lot of money. Obviously, Chase is the man. I mean, so they're just keeping the key pieces and getting the guys, getting Burrow the things he needs to win. The problem is they're just not investing on defense, which is even better for Burrow's numbers.
Yeah, that's what I would think too. Is that it's going to be they're going to have to score 40 points a game to stay in games, right?
Yeah.
Everyone keeps saying that their defense is trash and whatever, but it was trash last year too. So it's not like it's gotten worse. I don't think. I just there just haven't been any improvements. So I like the over on that. Touchdowns, you have you projected it at 34. Sportsbooks have it at 33.5. Sure. I mean, if you're going to throw 4,800 yards, you probably got 34 touchdowns in you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do like the 4,800 as well. It's not one of my favorite bets, not as strong as my Justin Fields bet. Just throwing that out there, but I do like that over and the passing yards. How about that number 7 guy? He might know a thing or two about this new Ben Johnson offense, Give us more about this.
Yeah, so where Ben Johnson actually went was Chicago to join Caleb Williams. Last year, he was a rookie, threw for 3,541 yards, 20 touchdowns, 489 yards rushing, 0 rushing touchdowns, and I think got sacked about 3,000 times.
Give or take.
Survived.
What did they do?
But he survived.
Yeah, he did.
So he was good.
Kid's tough. All right. This is one of those once in a generation quarterbacks or generational talent. You hear this consistently with Caleb Williams. They said the same thing about Trevor Lawrence. Before that, they said the same thing about Andrew Luck. And then before Andrew Luck, I'm sure there was Peyton Manning. Or even before that. I mean, there's always a generational talent. Trevor Lawrence is not showing out to be. He's coming along even, pretty much just average, maybe a little above average. Caleb Williams needs to show us something. And I think he will this year. I think he has the perfect situation. It was hilarious reading some of these offseason. He literally never watched film with his coaches, it sounds like. He just kind of gave him assignments and went away. Luckily, he wasn't Jamarcus Russell. He actually did watch the tapes. The only problem is he had no coaching while he watched these tapes. So getting a mastermind like Ben Johnson, who knows how to get these receivers to the places they need to be to get the ball and to get that quarterback quick release, do some more play action, do a lot of fun things. It's going to be a fun offense. And I'm buying in on the Bears hype. I know they're getting a lot of love at the sports book, but I'm going to bet here. I have one lock bet that Dan and I are in agreement with, and we're going to get into that. So the sports books have him at 3,500 yards, and that's a little bit of plus money at plus 110. I love this. I'm betting over all day. It's a lock to me. And for some reason, Bet365 has even lower. They're at 3,350, but you got to pay to do that. It's minus 150. So I'm gonna go with the DraftKings to get that plus money, 3,550, and I'm betting the over on that one. What's your thoughts on the over in yards?
So no Bears quarterbacks ever thrown for over 4,000. So you got the projection of that streak ending. Right. I don't hate it. I mean, he got the 35-41 last year, running for his life, on his ass quite a bit. So I think that, as you mentioned, Ben Johnson coming in, doing his thing, there'll be more opportunities, more yards. So I like that.
And they really revamped that offensive line. They brought in studs. They really blew it up, and they spent traded draft picks to get these guys in here. So they want to protect their franchise, and that's Caleb Williams. The next bet, the books have him for passing touchdowns. Tell us a little about this one, Dan. I know you're excited about this.
Yeah, so you have projected at 29. Sportsbooks have it at 23.5 at plus 125, and I think that's the best price out there right now. I like it. Yeah. I think that all things considered, like I keep going back to it, he didn't have protection last year, or he wasn't throwing it quick enough. I mean, depends who you are. There's a lot of people complaining about his release and holding the ball too long too. But I think that he gets that corrected in year 2. And so now I'm just wagering, can he throw 4 more touchdowns than he did last year? I absolutely think so.
He's got better weapons, too. They drafted Colson Loveland in the first round, so he can complement Cole Kmet out there. Additionally, Luther Burton was brought in, too. So Roma Dunze might wake up and have a career. He has the talent to do it. So really fun offense. And now with a great leader at the helm in Ben Johnson, we've seen what he's done with the Lions. It's going to be a fun offense. It's really beneficial for guys like DeAndre Swift. They haven't made any really strong improvements in the run game, so he's another guy to might come up later on in this series. Tell me about number 8, though.
Number 8, you have the West Coast darling Justin Herbert. Last year threw for 3,870 yards, 23 touchdowns, 306 yards rushing, and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, I love Herbert. It is extremely fun to talk about him only because every time I talk about Herbert, I think about Harbaugh literally just having the time of his life, like waking up in the middle of the night sweating, like telling his wife, like, I got to get Herbert to the Hall of Fame. Like, what a bizarre things come out of his mouth. I just saw an interview the other day where he's like, literally looked in the camera. He's like, don't change, Justin. Don't change. The only thing that could go bad for you is us. So it's just crazy how much Harbaugh loves this guy. He's going to give him every opportunity to succeed. He did at the end of last season. It took a little bit. He gave J.K. Dobbins a lot of love early on. Then they kind of turned the offense over to Herbert, and Herbert went ham. He had very minimal turnovers, high completion percentage. Didn't look great in the playoffs, but I think it's just going to be sky's the limit. And this is my next lock pick. So Herbert, the books have him at 3,600 yards. I love him over. Like, to me, he's throwing 600 more yards than that. I have him at 4,200. What are your thoughts on the over for the yards?
I don't know. I just don't feel like the Chargers do enough in the offseason. I mean, I don't. I think the 3,600 is probably in the right area. It's probably closer to 3,800 like he was at last year, right? But I don't think that's worth a bet, and in my opinion, on that.
No, it's a viable opinion. They didn't do much. They did something that's really under the radar, and that's signing Mike Williams. Guy's always injured. I mean, he's always injured. I don't want to invest in him in any league because it's such a waste. But he plays football right when he's healthy, and Herbert loves him. So, Labaconki stepped up. You got, you really, I'm telling you, I think Mike Williams and Trey Harris was the other guy they drafted, the wide receiver. He's a stud too. He's going to fit really well in their offense. So I really think Herbert can succeed in this offense. And I think he's going to be given the reins to kind of have fun and do what he wants kind of with this offense. I also think he's going to run around a lot too. They didn't want any action on the ground, but they did put out their projections for his touchdown passes, and they got him at 22.5. I got him at over. So I got him at 28 touchdowns. I don't love that bet for some reason. You know what? I do love that bet. It's not my bet of the day, but
I don't know how you throw 42 and I get 23 touchdowns.
I know. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that one too. These are all bets I'm going to make, and I'll share you with them as the season goes on. We can commiserate together and discuss these. I also have him running a lot. I have him at 500 yards on the ground. That would be a career high for him. Additionally, 5 touchdowns on the ground. I love Amari Hampton. I think he's going to fit in well. I think just Najee Harris will continually screw over fantasy managers. So, but Herbert will definitely run a lot more because he'll have that option this season. They're going to be a little bit more afraid of the pass game. They're going to be a little bit more afraid of Najee, and specifically Omari and Hampton is going to open the door for Herbert to get some yards.
Yeah, I agree. I think Harbaugh, this being year 2, the league's different than it was when he was there before, right? So last year was kind of an adjustment year. I think he's got a grip on everything. You would hope that the offense improves. I mean, I just it'd be tough if they didn't, I guess. So I think they're easily the number 2 team in the AFC West. And I think they'll give the Chiefs some trouble potentially for the division title as well.
I like that. I can see that as well. I wonder what are their odds to win what are their odds out there?
To win the division, I believe it's at right around 3-1 right now, maybe 3.5 to 1.
That's some good numbers. I might put a little something on there because they are exciting. Harbaugh, like you said, he's adjusted and he's a hell of a coach. No matter what anybody says, he's insane.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a coach. Just look up, if you haven't seen it, who's he do with Jim Rome? Look up the interview with Harbaugh and Jim Rome from years back. It is worth it. If you haven't seen it, you want to feel awkward, just watch that interview. It is bizarre. Before we get into number 9, let's pause for our sponsor break here. This could be you. Okay, Dan, let's tell us about number 9 now.
Number 9 is Baker Mayfield, 4,500 yards passing last year, 41 touchdown passes, 378 yards rushing, and 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yes. And how can you not love Baker? I mean, this guy is just continuously counted out, and he continuously, he's getting just coaches' jobs, like full-time head coaches. Offensive coordinators are like golden to become head coaches. If all you got to do is coach Baker, Baker will do his crazy stuff and get you some yards, get you some touchdowns, win you some games, and you got a head coaching gig.
Yeah, but
Same thing happened this year.
are we talking about the last 2 years of Baker, or
Yes.
are
No,
we
we're not
talking
talking
about
Browns,
Cleveland?
Baker. We're not
That's what
talking
I'm saying.
Cleveland.
Like he's had 2 years out of the how many years he's been in the league now?
I'll
He's
give you
probably
that.
going on what, 7 or 8?
Yeah, definitely. He's 28 years old, I believe, 29 this year. And he has continuously, let's flag this part. I need to research this. If I'm wrong, I'm editing the shit out of this. Let's see. Yeah.
You want to know
But
how old he is or what?
how old is he? Let's look that up. Come on, let's do this. We won't even keep this in the show. You poor bastards watching this or listening to this.
No, you're close. 30. He's 30.
30. Okay. All right. So he's 30 years old. What does that bring? Seasoned veteran. That's what that brings to the table. All right. This guy knows where to throw the ball. He knows how to sling it. He loves feeding Mike Evans the ball to get him his bonuses and records. He gets Chris Godwin back, who's coming off a nasty injury, but he's just a stud when he's on the field. And then they draft Emeka Ibuka. Additionally, you got Jalen McMillan out there. They just, I like the team. Bucky Irving, he catches the ball out of the backfield. I don't know why they're trashing him here. So he throws for 4,500 yards last year. This year, with healthier wide receivers and a rookie first round wide receiver, they got him throwing 3,800 yards. So I like the over on this. This isn't one of my favorite picks, only because Baker plays violent. The guy is, he's like Josh Allen. I don't like to bet Josh Allen prop bets because you're putting a lot at stake on guys that literally put their heads down and get the yards they need. And that scares me. I don't know what's your take on this, Dan?
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think the one thing too that's in his favor is how poor his division is. So he has to play the Panthers twice. He has to play the Saints twice.
Saints.
And I guess we can say Atlanta's probably the number 2 team in that division, right? But even so, like, I wouldn't say that they're a powerhouse, right? So I think that's huge when it comes to looking at some of these props and understanding the division they play in. That's what is that, 6 games a year right there?
Yeah.
So
Yep. And really what Dan's saying there too is that if they lock in the division early, why is Baker playing all 17 games? That's poor coaching. You take the man out, he's earned the right to sit on the bench the last week of the season, maybe the last 2 weeks, depending on how well they do. You want him to stay hot, but at the same time, you want him to stay healthy through those playoffs.
And that's probably why the number is what it is, right? 3,800.
Yep.
Like you're 200 yards under his first season in Tampa. You just assume that he's going to run away with it. And probably, playing 16 games only or 15 games only.
Yeah. Obviously, we're going to go with the touchdowns here. This one I'm not really touching. He's at 28.5. The books have him at even money. That's for DraftKings. I don't like that. I got him at 27 touchdowns. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense. 46-50 in the air, only 27, 28 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think missed opportunity here for you. Like, I mean, he's at 4,500 last year with 41 touchdowns, and now you think he's going to throw more, but way less.
I don't know why it just came out that way when I did it out on paper. I'm going to stick with my numbers, as shitty as they are. For me, reading them out loud, it seems even worse, but I don't know why it just came up with that number. He did 1 touchdown here, 2 touchdowns there. So we'll see what he ends up doing. He has the ability. We know that. But am I going to bet that? I don't want to bet any season-long bets on Baker because the way he plays, he's crazy. Yep. And let's go number 10. Who's our number 10 guy?
Number 10, you have Jared Goff.
I love how you keep separating me and you. You're just like,
yes.
You have. Yeah. You don't any parts of this.
So last year he threw for 46-29, 37 touchdowns, 56 rushing yards, and 0 rushing touchdowns. So, I think this is the most interesting one, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's going to be fun to talk about. I know what you're going to get into. Let's let you talk about this one because I think you're excited about this bet as I am.
So 2022, he throws for 4,400 yards, give or take a few yards in there, right? 23, he's at 4,575, and 2024, he's at 4,629. So just those last 3 seasons in Detroit, he's averaging about 4,500 yards, a little over.
Yeah.
The sports books have him this year at 3,900 and a half. So I know the argument is going to be that Johnson's not there, but Detroit's not dumb. Like they're going to bring somebody in that has similar mindset as far as offense goes. And I think it's just business as usual up there.
And they did. They brought back John Morton. He was with the team in 2022. He knows Goff very well. He knows the offense very well. And literally, Campbell's quoted basically saying we would just want continuity amongst the offense. We want to have the same thing as we've done in the past. So just like Dan said, why are we shying away from 3,900 yards when Goff's going out and thrown over 4,500 yards, 4,400 yards the last 3 years. So that's my other lock pick. Dan's on board with this one. So 3,900 yards. I love this. That's a lock. We're betting Jared Goff passing over 3,900 yards for the season total. I feel confident he'll be getting your money like week 14. I really do. Maybe even earlier. So next up, we're going to go touchdowns for Goff. There's a little bit of value here. Bet365 has him at 28.5 at even money. I got him at 31. It's not far off from there enough for me to hammer that, but still, It's a nice value if you want it. He threw for how much last year? I forget.
37, but I mean, you average out the last 3 years, he's at 32. So I mean, like you said, there's not a lot of value there. For the price, I guess. So I wouldn't bet that either.
And it's a shame they don't want any action on his rushing because I got him at right around 100 yards, and that's going to crush his career high of 73. So big wheels this season for Jared Goff. Let's hear about this guy, number 11. A lot of people have talked about him before.
Yeah, so people are saying in Philadelphia he's washed, but
nobody ever said this.
It's Patrick Mahomes.
There's still a lot of respect for Mahomes.
Not in Philadelphia.
Well,
so not from the people I know from Philadelphia, I should say.
Are you friends with our defensive line as well? They got him 6 times that game.
Look, I can only talk about the people that I know from Philadelphia, what they say about him. Or Patrick Mahomes is our number 11. 2024, he did 3,928 yards, 26 touchdown passes, 307 rushing, and 2 rushing touchdowns.
I never say he's washed. I just felt like he gets more love than he deserves. And I mean that in a genuine way. The guy is a phenomenal
That would have been a great segue into number 12, but you blew it.
I see what you did. Yeah, that's very, very good. But anyway, Mahomes is always drafted way too high. Just a little personal story. I was in a league last year where I did it with a friend of mine, and he subsequently went on to take Patrick Mahomes without my approval in the second round of a redraft league, and that is just too high. You can sit on him. He's going to get you the same average numbers that he's gotten you the last few years. We're talking QB 15, QB 16. Maybe he'll get in that QB 12. He's not the Patrick Mahomes of old per the offense, and I kind of went like that with my rankings. So I got him at my 11th quarterback. I think he does sneak into the top 12. I got him throwing for 4,100 yards, and that's pretty much on par with what the books have him at, 4,075 yards at even money. Touchdowns, honestly, we can just skim through this one because none of these are value picks. I project him at 30. The books got him at right around 28. Not much to say about Mahomes except for you can probably sit on him in drafts. And if you want to get him, you can get him later.
Right. So the only thing I'm going to add is I do think the AFC West will be tougher for them, as I mentioned before, with the Chargers. But I do think last year Mahomes didn't look great, but I don't think that repeats itself. I think he's going to be back to normal. I think the 4,000 yards passing is a good number. I do think he goes over, but again, not worth wagering on.
Agree. 100% agree. And well, here we go. This guy gets too much love. We can use that segue here again. I thought Mahomes gets too much love. How about this next guy?
So number 12, you have Jordan Love. Shocker. No. So 2024, he only played in 15 games, 3,389 yards, 25 touchdowns, 83 yards rushing, and 1 touchdown rushing.
It's a sophomore slump. People got an ability to, the ability to review his tape, figure out what he does well.
Red shirt sophomore slump.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm going to stick with the sophomore slump.
Oh, okay.
I know. Yeah, 100%. I like that line there because 2 years ago was his first year starting. So you got to watch him, really figure out what he does well, and they destroyed him. He had a really, really letdown season, 3,400 yards. The books don't think he's going to do much better this year. I strongly disagree with this. I'm showing him a lot of love. I got him ranked number 12, but I also have him throwing 4,400 yards. And that's well over their 3,600 projections. So I love this pick. I'm not smashing it, but I really, really feel strongly about it. They just added wide receivers again. That's all they do. They draft Matthew Golden. They took the other kid in the 3rd round. They also have 2 very good tight ends and a bunch of other salvaged 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round pick wide receivers. So it's a fun offense if they get rolling. So if Jordan Love stays healthy, I think this is a lock. Where are you at with this?
So
how come you not follow me?
Yeah. So I think that as long as he doesn't get taken out by the turf in Brazil, he'll be fine. And they don't play there this year, so I think he'll be all right.
Yes, that's a good point.
And I have the Packers doing pretty well this year. I have them projected, I think, same record as last year at 11-6. Probably going to be between them and the Lions as to who can win that division. And I just passing yards wise, I think he can get back into that 4,000 range.
Oh yeah, I'm
Again,
highlighting you on this. Then
again, I'm
you're
not
following
no,
me.
I'm not betting that.
Yeah,
I'm not betting that. So because you got to prove to me that you can play back-to-back seasons full before I start betting on you, I think. So
the touchdowns, they got him at 24.5. I like the over on this. I got him at 26 projection. Touchdowns, it's not enough though, not enough juice there. And they didn't touch the rushing, the sports books. If we didn't mention rushing yards, it either means there's no value in there or the sports books didn't post them. If you know a good site that has these has action on the rushing yards and really any other quarterbacks, I'd love to see it and cross compare some of my notes. I've ranked a lot more, and I'd love to see what you guys have out there. But our top 12, just to recap, and we're going to go through our strong bets. The top 12 redraft quarterbacks. Just go in order, Dan. Read them out again.
So at number 1, we'll have Josh Allen. 2, Lamar Jackson. 3, Jalen Hurts. 4, Jayden Daniels. 5, Justin Fields. 6, Joe Burrow. 7, Caleb Williams. 8, Justin Herbert. 9, Baker Mayfield. 10, Jared Goff. 11, Patrick Mahomes. And 12, Jordan Love. So essentially, if your name starts with a J, you're probably in this list.
You're such a clown. It's true, though. So that's actually pretty hilarious. The picks, our bets here, my bets. I'll start with mine. I'm all about Lamar Jackson rushing over 750 yards. This is a strong wager for me, but not my number one pick. You guys already know what that is. I mentioned it numerous times. Jalen Hurts is my next one. I have him throwing over 3,200 yards. So that's my next strong pick. Then my first lock that I love is Jalen Hurts throwing over 19.5 touchdowns. I think he blows that away. I think he's throwing anywhere from 27 to 30 touchdowns. The next guy that I bet and I really like the value on is going to be Jayden Daniels. I have him 9 touchdowns on the ground. The books have him at 6.5. I don't love this bet. I just like the value there. So you're betting over 6.5 and you're getting a little back on that. It's plus 125. And if you don't understand this minus and plus, we're going to have videos so you can learn about these things as well. The goal is to educate you and show you what we feel is value. And you can follow us if you want. You don't, I don't care. It's your money. Justin Fields, I'm all about Justin Fields. So if you already turned off the podcast by then, which I don't blame you, cool. But if you're here with me right now, you're going to follow this. You're going to make money. Justin Fields is my biggest bet. Over 2,550 yards. I got him over 14 touchdowns in the air. I don't know how that's a number. I have him throwing at least 20. And then we're going to go through the next pick that I liked a lot was Caleb Williams, over 3,500 passing yards, 3,550 to be exact. You're getting that at plus 110. That's what DraftKings Sportsbook currently. And then Dan, here's your first lockstep with mine.
Yeah, so we're going to take Caleb Williams at over 23.5 touchdowns at plus 125.
That's easy. I don't know why that's there. I'm confused by this. It's one of those where it's too good to be true in my mind. I predict him being 29 touchdown, 30 touchdown quarterback. And to me, just 23.5 just is too easy. My next pick that I like, I have Herbert. This is my next lock pick. So Herbert throwing over 3,600 yards. Harbaugh loves this guy. It's weird. I love it, though. The offense got a little bit stronger. They got a better offensive line. They're just going to be winging it. I think they realized it started clicking last year when they started throwing the ball. They're going to keep that. I also like over 22.5 touchdowns on Herbert. So you want to do a parlay, you're crazy, go ahead and do it, but do your thing. We don't recommend parlays at any given time. We might throw one or two out there that might be fun, but we're here about making money, not about donating money. Jared Goff is my next one. And Dan, tell us about this one because it's another one of our lockstep.
Yeah, so Jared Goff over 3,900.5 yards, hasn't thrown under 4,000 since he's gotten to Detroit, I don't think. At least not in the last 3 seasons. So definitely going to go over on that.
Yeah, I'm 100%. This is smash right here. This makes total sense. And then my final, because you're out on this one, is Jordan Love over 3,600 yards passing. I don't love it. It's not a lock pick, but I feel very confident he's able to achieve that if he can play all 17 games. So that was the first edition of many. This is the Stardom Bed'em podcast. Remember, you like fantasy football, you like football, you want to learn about gambling, you like gambling, hopefully you like money, you're at the right spot. So you're either going to be thrilled and make money off us, or we're going to be all miserable together. Either way, we're going to have fun. So hell, you can fade us. So
well, good luck.
to get on, yeah, exactly. So just get on here and follow us. We appreciate anything you can add. You want to leave shitty comments, any publicity is good publicity, I guess they say. Do what you got to do. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I don't care if you did. We had a good time doing it. So thanks for hanging out with me, Dan. I really enjoy doing this. We got one coming up later on next week. Eventually, we're going to get 2 out a week. And then as the season progresses, we're going to be really hopping into prop bets, some picks of the week, some fantasy rankings, and we'll be picking apart your own lineups as you send them into us. All right. So, Dan, anything you want to add?
No, had a good time and looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm just waiting for football to start.
Cannot wait. Exactly. So thanks again. And hopefully we have you guys back for next week.
Different, magnetic. Yo, my raps volted, hit my memory banks that never be released. Box cut inside the apple, you're in for a treat. Paper cuts in a vicious way, running back, dead giveaway, the handoff, deceased. Reigns, Tony Kukoc, I've been diagnosed with whack rapper symptoms. You might need creatine or cortisone shots. Slaughter poems dot, they couldn't find our bodies, hit it in border home plots. I'm up crafting consultation appointments. Larry O'Brien trophy room showcases boisterous. I bliss from my lungs, my voice has a grip. Sharp double vision, magic tricks, disastrous. Stash your quarters in mid-air during a coin flip. I rhyme at Malaysia, manage you lessons. Galaxy Guardians perplexing, mind up Batista, got these losers stressing. I didn't see the signs either, my future's progressing. I'm on my grind like a barista, brewer sessions. For the title, I'm promoting cruiserweights. I write for your standard routines, humans place, collective, elements, tones connected. The future's at stake, hijack, aircraft, stolen, Henny sip at a viewer's pace. Glowing like a skinny dip, in nuclear waste, yo.